So at that time on December 10th, I didn't know that like my brain savant test result had come out. Excuse me. What happened was crazy girl hit my car that night, and then that same night, law enforcement started asking me with the Remitly money transfer ads. Two coincidences in one night. I thought, man, at that time I didn't even know that the brain savant test results come out after a month. And so a day or two later, my mother was like whining. She's like, I want to see the Christmas lights. And she's like, you went to Russia and came back, and you can't take me to go see the Christmas lights. And I'm like, where do you want to see? I'm just kind of confused. Like, better not be someplace expensive. Well, I found a really nice place in Annapolis, and it's hard to describe. It's like really nice. It looks like red brick roads, uh, cute little shops on the side, and leading up to the harbor, and found a hotel near it. So I took her there to go see the Christmas lights there, and I took her to a hotel near there. And on my way back, it's like my mother's obsession with the Ambanis. It's like we talk about a house. She has to talk about the Ambanis. We talk about a gift. She'd be like, Shah Rukh Khan gave the Ambanis a Rolls Royce. We talk about good deeds, which we were talking about in that car. My mother would be like, I'm pretty sure the Ambanis do a lot good for a lot of people. And I just at that moment, I just had to look over to her and just be like, you don't know. You have no idea. Yes, they do. Well, anyways, when I was looking at her when she said that, which is kind of weird, like Ambanis are probably listening in this car right now. You don't know what their sources are like, and they help people out. Anyways, when she said that, I kind of look at her like like kind of weird that you're talking about the Ambanis, and the Ambanis pretty much saved your son's life. And so I kind of looked at her for a second, and as soon as I looked at her, there was a lady on my right. She was aligning her car with mine, and as soon as she saw that, I saw her face. She sped off. And that happened again on my way back from the hotel I took my mother to for Christmas. And like as soon as I get home the next day, they test out like the other part of my autistic brain, which is like I get really obsessive over certain things. So there's this one documentary. It's called Chinese Century of Humiliation. I could watch that all day. I have no clue why. That's just how autistic people are. They already tested out the documentaries part from my childhood on January 20th, 2025. So they had to test out the second part. So it was just like, yeah, so that happened. And then after that, they tried to like, they, they were trying to like convince the world that I have atrial fibrillation. But every single time I would do an EKG on my Apple Watch, it would say AFib. They would use like hard drugs to try to prove that. It's just like, I don't know if you read a book in your life or not, but medically speaking, that is not possible, my friend. It's just not possible, because I've done a lot of AFib tests, and you don't just wake up one morning and you have AFib. Do you even know what that means? It's like one of your heart muscles is really weak, and it could lead to all kinds of problems. Like you could get blood clot in your veins. They could have to like amputate your foot. This is a major issue. You don't just get this one morning when you wake up. That's not how it works. Um, yeah, and so like I'm just like, this is a little too much, like a little too many coincidences. For one, December 10th, the girl hits my car in the back. Then you've got Remitly money transfer ad asking for money. Then you have people aligning their car with mine. People aligning their car with mine on my way back from the hotel. Then you have then you have the AFib report on my EKG for my Apple Watch. A little too many coincidences happening for a simple guy like me. I was like, let me solve this riddle real quick. You guys have your one. You guys get your savant. They're not letting me think. Like they use these drugs. I can't remember anything. Pretty much. Yeah. So I can't remember anything because of these drugs that they use on me. Anyways, um, basically, I solved the riddle real quick, and I was just like, look, let me solve this. You guys get your Brain Savant test results after a month, and you just got yours right now. And the Savant test result came out, and it proves that I have autistic brain savant. And I'm a triple savant, and my powers increase over time. The November 14th test results just came out right now, didn't it? December 10th, which is why all these coincidences are occurring. And law enforcement pretty much, yeah, like doesn't take a genius to know that one. Well, anyways, um, yeah. The reason I want to do medicinal chemistry is because I tested it out for 6 hours. They never let me use it. I used it once, but thankfully I used it for 6 hours. And it's like 6 minutes, 60 seconds, and then 60 minutes. 6 hours is a very long time to be using it. And I used it for 6 hours straight on August 9th, 2022. I never used it before then, never used it after that. But that much time period, I knew what I had. Law enforcement knew it before me. They just didn't tell me. Um, they knew it from the 4 years that I was staring into a textbook. Um, from October 2019 till July 1st, 2023. They knew it then. They knew it before then. They knew it before then. They knew it for years. They had a brain scanner attached to my brain. Well, anyways, I found out that day, August 9th, 2022. I used it for 6 hours. So, yeah. From those 4 years of report, law enforcement will tell you that, yes, that medicinal chemistry textbook might look a little really dry to a normal human being, and they might think that they might not be able to get past a page in a month. But for an autistic savant like me, I will drink that up like a bowl of soup in one day. Trust me on that. But yeah, so basically that's what the story was. But the thing is, law enforcement basically told these girls about my brain savant, and that's why they wanted me. And so they told them about my brain savant. But the thing about it is, I never told anyone. Like it is in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Um, the old man tells Charlie he gets a golden ticket, and the old man says, "What? Charlie, go run home. Don't tell anyone." And the kid who drank cabbage soup his entire life finally has a golden ticket. Well, he has the golden ticket to go to the chocolate factory, and I had the golden ticket after August 9th, 2022, when I found out after using it for 6 hours. 6 hours is a very long time. I found out that I had the golden ticket to make my own chocolate factory. So, yes, it's no secret. I never told anyone. So, like a year later, like law enforcement gives me a list of girls on July 1st, 2023, August 9th, 2022, and then you have July 1st, 2023. It's like a year of keeping a secret you never told anyone about. Just like shut your mouth. They'll find out when you have your chocolate factory. You're not just visiting one, you're making your own. And so people are going to find out when you have one. They'll come and visit. You'll just show them the chocolate factory, and you'll just be like, hey, you know what? I had these powers. I kept it a secret, and now I have it. Now I got it. That sort of thing. Law enforcement, obviously, they never kept anything in their stomach ever. Their sex scheme ads, everyone knew. Their money fraud, everyone knew. Even though no one knew the people they were running it with, no one met with those people, everyone knew. Law enforcement never keeps anything to their stomach. So they went and they told all the girls. And then they gave me a list on July 1st, 2023. I didn't have to be a genius to know that they had a brain scanner. Well, anyways, after that, obviously, I never told anyone. So, like, how do you know? How did these girls know? You told them. How'd you tell them? I never told anyone. Well, you have a brain scanner, don't you? It's that sort of thing. But the thing is, yeah. So like, I never met these girls. Like Katie, I've never met her. I've never talked to her. I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm sure she's an amazing person and everything, but I've never met her. I've never talked to her. A lot of these girls I never talked to ever. So like the people like Junaid would like get pissed off at the fact that like he was getting rejected by them. And so like every time he would get rejected by them, he would get together with law enforcement and they would send me like a threat to break my car. um I had nothing to do with it. I never ran after these girls ever. Like sometimes it was kind of like it seemed kind of easy, but at the same time, it's like a little awkward and weird. It's like not something I've done before in my life. Complete total loser in high school, and it's just like was not in the mood to do so either. But my point being, I have nothing to do with these girls. A lot of them I've never even met, and law enforcement sending me all these threats every time Jeanette would get rejected by them. May 25th, what happened was, so first thing I got to say is all these talking points Jeanette has, law enforcement can't use themselves because law enforcement have been running sex games money fraud the entire time. And if anyone said anything bad around me, it would be one of law enforcement's own BFFs who would say it as an adult and I'd be a child around there. Anything bad wouldn't be anything like what my dad, the Greedy Framer, was saying in 2011, where he was doing something where he was recruiting people for jihad mass murder in 2011. I've only met the man 3 times in my life. And one of those times he was doing this and he had to be tipped off by law enforcement. And when law enforcement has to show their face when they're supposed to be invisible, so there's something big. And they had to show their face and let him know, tip him off. Like, look, man, we're running our sex games and money fraud. You're really disturbing us over here because we're going to have to report you if you don't stop. So stop recruiting people to go mass murder. Like, it's not a joke. But that's pretty much what happened. Law enforcement had to like let him know, like, don't do this anymore because we're being forced to become visible and we're supposed to be invisible. So if you do this, then we'll have to report you. So just please, can you stop doing this? And in 2011 is like one of the 3 times I've ever met my dad, the Greedy Framer, and he just suddenly stops one day. So after like all the blackmails and everything throughout 2025 and everything, and then him fabricating false testimonies for law enforcement, and then I found out. So this is what happened that time when I visited you in 2011. You didn't just stop one day from recruiting people to go out and mass murder people. You were tipped off by the same people you just fabricated false testimony for. On November 20th, 2025. That's what happened. So it didn't have to be a genius to guess this one. But the thing about it is, yeah, they're making me forget again right now. But the thing about it is, yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. So basically, law enforcement and their BFFs, they're just all 2 peas in a pod sort of thing. I've never met them. If law enforcement would have a BFF, it would be something like my dad, the Greedy Framer, or something like Uncle Joey. Not the kind of people you want to meet. They're just pretty much low lives. They do dumb, stupid things. And like, I feel really thankful I was raised by a mother the way she is. For more than the past 25 years, what my dad, the Greedy Framer, was doing in 2011, she's never even uttered, not said. Doing is different from saying. She's never even said something considered bad her entire life against anyone of any religion, ethnicity, race, background. They had a brain scanner attached to my brain for years before July 1st, 2023, before law enforcement told me about their brain scanner. Those idiots. You know how many times I look down on someone due to their faith, religion, ethnicity, background? Never. Not once. You know why? Because I was raised by that mother who worked at fast food restaurants to raise me, but she gave me a good character. And people like Uncle Joey, like law enforcement's BFFs, the moment she told me never go around him as a child. The story is true because, for one, the evidence clearly shows that I never went around him after I was a child. And 2, the phone conversation from Russia shows that my mother did tell me not to go near him, and she knows nothing about an investigation or what the right or wrong answer is. And 3, you have things that law enforcement try to frame me for in 2023, like a wedding incident, and you find out that I wasn't even present at that wedding, and yet law enforcement was trying to frame me due to extreme envy of my brain savant. So yes, I'm telling the truth. I was never seen in any setting ever again, ever since I gained the slightest bit of mental maturity, Whether it was someone like Uncle Joey, who the facts and evidences will show I never went around him, despite law enforcement trying to torture me and to try to force me to go near him. Or these weddings and family gatherings that these people in the family had that they were all present in. I was never there due to not being able to afford to do so, whether it was Assad's sister's wedding in 2003 or any other one. Clearly showing that I'm telling the truth about the fact that I was never present anywhere, even as a child, gaining the slightest bit of mental maturity as a child, which meant that in 2023, when law enforcement was very desperate while running their sex scheme ads for Uncle Joey and money fraud, they had to try to frame me. And what they tried to frame me for, I can guarantee, was a wedding where I would not be present. And the people who would be present would be people like Sohaib and Assad, who would be present as adults. They were always present everywhere they could afford to do so. They had both parents. And their parents made okay money. It's not the kind of money that a person with a brain savant can make, a triple savant with innovation, photographic memory, and focusing, but it was okay money. And obviously, when that okay money person finds out one day about a triple savant in the family, well, the envy level, you would know. You saw it on November 20th with these people trying to frame me and more lies, and then people in law enforcement getting a 10-year-old child 25 years later, mid-January 2026, testifying against me. All these fabrications, yeah, the envy level is really high, especially coming from people that, have done nothing but run sex schemes and money fraud their entire lives, which would be law enforcement and every adult I've ever known in my life, including people like Sohaib. And that's a different story. But the fact of the matter is, what I'm trying to say is, the talking points that Junaid is using from law enforcement. First of all, I've never known Junaid much. He's been married to my sister, but I never lived with him. And the talking point that Junaid is using, law enforcement cannot say. And the reason law enforcement cannot say is because right now, all the fabricated false testimonies have all gotten caught. So they can't make any more false testimonies. No one's going to believe it. And if there's another false testimony found, then obviously people around the world are just going to be like, we've had enough. Too many lies getting caught over here. This is just BS. You got to get over this. Something's not right over here. So the talking points that law enforcement gave to someone like Junaid, you have to remember, it would be one of law enforcement's own BFFs saying something bad around me, saying and not doing. What my dad, the greedy framer, was doing in 23 was recruiting people for mass murder, which we don't know the effects of because we don't know how many people actually carried out what he was trying to do, which required law enforcement to finally become visible, who were supposed to be invisible. And the reason was because they were getting distracted from their sex schemes and money fraud, and they just had to go tip them off. Like, look, man, we're running our sex schemes and money fraud, and you're really annoying us because if you don't stop doing these things, then we're gonna have to report you. And so just stop doing it right now while he's here, and then you continue after he's gone, as in me. So law enforcement pretty much tipped him off. My dad, the greedy framer, in 2011. I can guarantee you. People don't just change overnight like that. Every single day he's recruiting people for jihad from his house, giving sermons, something that my mother's never been heard uttering one word of her entire life, being watched every single day for past more than 25 years. And so the talking points that law enforcement gave to people like Junaid would be their own BFFs saying something bad around me as a child. Saying and not doing. I have to repeat, my dad was doing in 2011 and not saying. So those talking points that Junaid would not know anything about. He wasn't there. I've never known him, never lived with him. He's been married to my sister, but I never lived with him. And so those talking points law enforcement cannot use. And they know what the entire story about that is. Someone said something bad around me, it would only be as a child. And as soon as my mother gained the slightest bit of independency, I was never seen anywhere with anyone, ever. Yeah, so I'm sorry. It's just, I watch a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Sometimes I start talking like him. You got to excuse me with that. Well, anyways, his facts are really interesting. But the thing is, yeah, I wasn't ever seen with anyone ever again after I gained the slightest bit of mental maturity as a child. And so, yeah, so it's just kind of like, afterwards, it was just like, like these talking points are against a child, and the child was never seen around anyone ever again, ever. And the reason was, it was due to the mother's dependency that he could ever be. But you got to remember, he was just a child, and he was like never seen around anyone ever again after he wasn't a child anymore. And these talking points are being given to someone like Junaid, who are threatening me every single time he gets rejected by a girl I have absolutely nothing to do with. Like I just told you right now, that girl, I've never even talked to her. So the law enforcement would just send me a video of like Katy Perry, and I would just watch it. I'd be like, I like that video of Katy Perry. That sort of thing. Never talked to the person, ever. Never met with them, never talked to them. And Junaid's getting pissed off about getting rejected by someone like that. Like, I have nothing to do with this person. And so it's just kind of like, yeah. And then he would get pissed off, and then law enforcement would send me a video of like a car repair video, like through threatening me to break my car. And recently, between June 3rd and June 8th, it's a 5-day time period. I put it on my Gmail. Someone broke the under part of my front part of my car, like they teared it out just to harass me. And between June 3rd and June 8th, and the reason probably was that they weren't able to get Junaid, one of the girls. And I'm guessing law enforcement probably had to get one of their own girls to go with Junaid because of that, because they couldn't get one of the other girls to go with him. Let me tell you how seriously these people take these rejections. First of all, Junaid told everyone that he was autistic, and that he was autistic, and he said that he lacked social skills. And yet, even though he said that he lacked social skills, he was trying to run after one of my elementary school teachers, who was literally my mother's age, and then getting rejected by her. Something I can guarantee you, a person lacking social skills is never going to go try to make out with someone their mother's age, get rejected, and try again the next day. That's number one rule in lacking social skills. I can guarantee you that much. But he did tell people that he was autistic and he was lacking social skills. And he got a sweater just like the one I have. I bought the one like from Amazon. I bought 5 of them because I get really obsessive over certain things. I bought like 5 blue sweaters, and I would change it around. Like, I would love wearing them. Like look at me talk, man. I'm autistic. Every time I open my mouth is like all over the place. Who are you copying over here? There are people out there. Like, you've got Brad Pitt. Are you insane? Like, if I wanted to copy someone, like, Ehsan would not be my choice. Like, I would just be like, Ehsan, the guy who's autistic, his mouth is all over the place when he opens his mouth. I'm not copying him. All right, show me some videos of Brad Pitt. That sort of thing. Junaid was going around telling people that he's autistic. He started wearing glasses even though he didn't before. And he was also telling people that he lacked social skills, even though when I was starving, he was telling people that he had so many friends and that I didn't have any friends, which is true. I don't have any friends. That, like, countries started putting stuff on my YouTube. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, Russia put a video on my YouTube. Like, I was literally starving, and it said, I just wanted to let you know that all of Russia is your friend. And it was so, like, I don't know how to say it. It was just, I knew why they said it. They said it because douchebags like Junaid was going around telling girls that he had a lot of friends and I didn't have any. And it was just, I saw that video on YouTube, and I'm not going to lie, it got me really emotional. Like, no one said anything so nice to me in my entire life. And Russia said that to me, and it was like a video of President Putin talking, and it just said on there, it said, I just wanted to let you know that all of Russia is your friend. And it just made me feel so good. But it's just kind of like, it's like the guy just like takes a 180-degree turn, and he tells everyone now that he sees that he's getting rejected by the girls. I swear, I'm not joking. He tells everyone that he's autistic. And mine was like, it's just been like a brain scanner told everyone. I didn't tell anyone about it. And the other thing is, he tells people that he lacks social skills like me. Never in all my years did I think that someone would actually be amazed by my lack of social skills. Like, come on, people. There are things that you want to copy in this world. Lacking social skills is not one of them. Well, anyways, if you did lack social skills, you would not be going after an elementary school teacher that's like my mother's age. So she has to be your mother's age as well, probably somewhere close to it. And you're getting rejected by her and you're still trying the next day. Not something that someone lacking social skills does. I could guarantee you that once. Like, rule number one, don't do that. Don't run after someone your mother's age. And if you get rejected, sure as heck don't try again. But anyways, like all these cheesy tricks to try to like get these girls to like talk to him, and like in taking a 180-degree turn from being the most social person in the world to like not being social at all, and like take these things so seriously. Like even started wearing her sweater just like mine. Like I was just like, oh my god. You're me, sort of thing, you know. But it was just like how I was just like, man, I'm a little obsessive over certain things. If I see a nice sweater on Amazon, it's like $20. I'd buy like 5 pairs. I'd be like, I gotta wear that sweater every single day. I don't care if it's freezing. It's the winter time. I'm wearing that blue sweater of mine. But it was just kind of like, you know. Anyways, it's like these talking points don't make any sense because Junaid wasn't there, first of all. Second of all, if let's say all right, so like law enforcement can't say because their own BFFs like Uncle Joey would be saying it. And the third thing is, you know, it's just kind of like yeah, like I haven't seen whoever said whatever when I was a child around me. My mother would never be around. If they did say, she'd just leave me with someone when she'd have to go to work or something of that sort or nature, you know. But obviously, if she would hear it, that incident with Uncle Joey would have happened a long time before that. But if someone said say something around me as a child, it would be one of law enforcement's own BFFs, whom I've never met since being a child. And these talking points, law enforcement cannot use themselves because they've been BFFs with these people from that time when I was a child till now, running sex games, money fraud, and God knows what else. So yeah, these talking points are being given to a person who is literally blackmailing me, threatening me to break my car every time he gets rejected by a girl I have absolutely nothing to do with. And he's getting rejected by these girls after literally becoming a twin version of me. And I have nothing to do with this thing going on, you know. And it's just like I was just like, look, man, first of all, I only wear glasses when I'm either watching TV or driving, so that's a little too much wearing it all day long, even in the bathroom. But it's just kind of like it's like after copying every single thing you can, like sweater, glasses, telling people you're autistic, taking a 180-degree turn on the social thing, and going from telling people when I'm starving that they're very social and I'm not at all, to saying that I'm not social at all, like social skills, just like Hassan. Like all these things, like it was just a little weird, but I was just like, hey man, go for it, or like, do whatever the heck you feel like doing. I personally would go with Brad Pitt. It's like, you want to go with me, that's fine. Anyways, Junaid would still get rejected by the girls. So like, and then he would cry about it, and then law enforcement would send me like these threats to break my car. And now finally, after June 3rd, they finally broke my car. Like they teared down the under part of the front part of my car, and they did it like sometime around like June 3rd or so, somewhere around there. They probably did it because none of the girls were talking to Junaid, and law enforcement probably had to provide one of their own girls to him. Like, this thing is a little too seriously taken, but it was, let me tell you how seriously it was taken. May 25th, my mother had to order Instacart because they were using so much mental torture on me, I couldn't leave home. But my mother had to order Instacart on May 25th, 2026, which is not too many days ago, like 2 weeks ago. May 25th, 2026, my mother had to order Instacart. And the lady that brought it in, like, I just went there to go say hi to her. And as soon as she like got the hint of me on her side, she quickly hands my mother like the stuff she runs out that. And I knew right away that it was because she couldn't make eye contact with me. And she wasn't the only one. There were other people of that sort. She couldn't make eye contact with me. And the reason was Junaid was getting rejected by these girls. And it was just like, I was just amazed by it. Like, man, I don't know any of these girls. You guys are treating me like I'm like freaking Bon Jovi or something over here, like playing with all these girls and like hogging them over or something. I literally never even talked to most of these girls ever, and they are like they're treating me like as if I told the girls to. Well, they're treating me like I'm responsible. I'm the person who's the reason that Junaid was getting rejected by these girls on days like May 25th, which I just thought was like absolutely insane. And like, yeah, so that is why Junaid is speaking out against me. The talking points don't make any sense since Junaid was never there, and I've even he was there like decades later after I became a child. I was born, like whatever. You get the point. And he wasn't married to my sister then. It was like decades afterwards. And in case anyone did ever say anything bad around me, it would be one of law enforcement's own BFFs, like Uncle Joey, and it would only be when I was like a child. And this I know for a fact is the only thing that law enforcement can now use against me. And the reason is all their false testimonies have gotten caught. There's literally nothing else that they could even use against me. So they have to use like this thing where I just had to make a child journal where this person said this around him when he was a child. Well, my mother was never present. If she was, this thing where I didn't talk to Uncle Joey or meet with him ever again, like the conversation from Russia showed, would have happened a lot sooner than it did. And the facts and evidences will show that my mother wasn't there when this person said whatever bad around me as a child.